Welcome back to Double Exposure. We have a very, very funny show for you tonight.
Oh, you better believe we do. Gotta start off with some sad news, though. Basketball star Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, who bragged that he had sex with 20,000 women, died this week.
Yep.
Well, actually, only Wilt died. The stilt is still alive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very much so. 7 foot
yeah.
1. 7 foot 1. Think
Whoa,
about that. You know.
I'm thinking.
Quite a size. Great ball handler, though. Great,
I guess so.
Very great.
Just don't tell me he was a dribbler, for God's sake. Couldn't stand the thought of that.
All right.
And President Clinton, you came for a visit last week.
Yes, I did. I came to Ottawa to officially open the new U.S. Embassy, and I was so thrilled because I laid the cornerstone. Believes that I am going to join with them. Then Preston is yanking the big one.
I should have stayed home and watched WWF instead.
You see, Reform Party is like a big box of chocolates. You just never know how many nuts are inside. Thank you very much.
Nuts in the Reform Party? There's a good joke.
What's your question?
I am Lucien Bouchard from Quebec. I want you to tell Jean Chrétien that his country stinks and federalism sucks, and that Quebec should separate, and then you'll adopt us as your 51st state.
Adopt you as our what?
As your 51st state and pay off our debts.
Why would I do that?
Well, think of all the resources that America will get from Quebec. Valuable things like maple sugar. We would give you more maple sugar than you've ever seen in your whole life. What are you laughing about? Maple sugar's good. And then we would give you the most precious resource that Quebec has to offer. Poutine. French fries soaked in lumpy cheese. What kind of fool would turn down an offer like that?
This fool here. Besides, my pal Gene here wouldn't like it if I stole his province.
Oh, no, don't do anything on my behind, because I've been trying to get rid of Bouchard for years. So it's one less Thornbird in my side if you take him, eh?
For example, here's a story from the Sault Ste. Marie Harangue. It says a woman was walking through the woods near town when she fell into a ravine and wasn't rescued for over 3 hours. Jack, does the Bible speak of this as a sign that the end is near?
Oh, yes, Rexella, it certainly does. Hiawatha 7:13 says, "And a ravine shall spring up as if from nowhere and smite thee, ripping thy tibia from its socket and tossing it to the wolverines." Or in Aggravations 14:4, it is clear from the words of Hagar that surely ye will see your end and smell your end when your end is close. Or this, at the sign of butt ooze and slimy rivulets across your thighs, shall ye know he has come for thee, yea, with a scythe to snip off thy chicklets and feed them to the swans of hell. Orifice 11:25. There's more, Rexella. At the rapture, those who do not believe shall be whipped with small wet ferrets across the nape of their neck and made to French kiss a cocker spaniel until once again the heaving of the stomach produces a hurling of fluids and great chunks of corn. Lexus GS 300. And it goes on and on. If ye would save yourself from an army of cockroaches marching through your BVDs after feeding on an old meatloaf, ye must submit. Tarnation 17:9. When the trumpet sounds, those who are not with us shall have their fingers caught in the door and slam, 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 slam. Mogilny 18:37. And in Succotash 11:41 it says clearly, even the small farmer with only a sacred cow and a lowly ass, when the judgment occurs, surely you will bid farewell to your sacred cow and kiss your sorry ass goodbye.
Good heavens, Jack, that is just so awful.
Perhaps the most slap-happy pappy in the purported plethora of dangling daddios, i.e. those whose infantile infatuation with the often misunderstood hypothesis, namely that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the angle of the dangle, are in fact overly hung up, as the Gen Xers might put it, in pondering the diorama of daily doofus droppings emanating from, of all places, the op-ed outpourings of utterly deranged doppelgangers. In other words, if Papa got a brand new bag, can one get a handle on it?
This is Grapes with my newest Rock'em Sock'em video. And no hockey this time. This is Rock'em Sock'em Life. Fisticuffs with average Joes like you and me. How about my Rock'em Sock'em Parliament? No more boring question period. How about your MPs duking it out like real men? Look at these guys going. Me and Bo would vote for these guys anytime. Boom, beauty stuff. Every think like that, like that, like that. You don't want to vote for my bill? Then let's drop the gloves and do the dance. Let's have a look at these MPs in slow motion. Hey, see that? See that? No more sissies in government. This is how it should be done. And you can get the Rock'em Sock'em Parliament on my new videotape.
Welcome to the show. And we start with an important message from the Prime Minister of Canada, also known as Jean Chrétien. Now, you've decided to run for another term, I hear, sir.
Well, you know, that's right. A lot of people think that I just make up my mind depending on which way the wind breaks, you know. But, you know, I have been long and hard thinking about this. And, I do a first term as the Prime Minister of Canada. I do a second term. Now I have decided to do a third. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Sister Wendy Beckett. You know, in the long, lonely, yearning years I spent alone in my little twailer, never talking to or seeing a single human being, just reading my art books, nothing but me and my fantasies. All those years pining, no doubt, for a human touch. A casual touch of goose-pimpled skin, especially the inner thigh during a hot bath when the bubbles are caressing your...
Good evening. Repeating our top story. Rogaine doesn't work for everyone. Now, time for our at-issue panel. Joining us tonight are regulars in Toronto, pollster Alan Gregg, and in Montreal, Toronto Star columnist Chantal Hébert. Is it fair to say that you're excited at the prospect of covering Paul Martin as Prime Minister?
Well, you know that I have not been this excited since Maxi Pads got wings.
And what do you say, Mr. Mulrooney?
Oh, Margaret, you know, I always enjoyed you most of all. At the G7 meetings, especially in the evenings when you'd beat everybody at arm wrestling. I always thought you were the best man.
I was. So now, Prime Minister, what's the first thing you'll do now you have all this spare time?
Well, Margaret, I'm going to write about all the wonderful people that I've met in the media.
So it's going to be a book?
No, a pamphlet.